Hello, Indiana Watershed Leadership Academy class of 2022. I'm Jane Frankenberger, the founder and director of the Academy, and I made this short video to reflect on preparing for the Academy, which starts next Wednesday. I'm looking forward to getting to know you virtually first, and then, assuming all goes well, meeting you in person in late March. A little about me. I'm a professor at Purdue University in agricultural and biological engineering. Watershed management is really a passion for me, and I also work on agricultural water management and conservation. Like you, my goal is to improve water quality in Indiana, and as we all know, there's plenty of work to do. It's great to work with Sarah Peel, who's the coordinator and your primary contact. We've been working together on preparing the content, which will involve a number of great speakers and team discussion leaders. Hopefully you received the booklet we sent that pulls together the key information we thought you'd like to refer to throughout the Academy. It includes our welcome letter from Sarah and me, information about all of you. So the bios, and hopefully this has given you an easy chance to look at them, and then the team leaders. It then has what we call the syllabus, and that provides, again, the most important information. We'll go through this, but this gives you a chance to sort of read ahead and make sure you understand what the Academy entails. Hopefully it doesn't seem intimidating. Here's the modules that we'll do, and then here's the calendar. We thought we'd put in something about using Zoom effectively. I know you've been doing this, but there's some ideas for interacting, because we're going to be very interactive in this workshop. It's by no means just a presentations. And then the roster that we think will be handy to always have available. I want to particularly mention preparing to participate fully and contribute over Zoom. The Watershed Leadership Academy relies on interacting with others, not just being an audience for presentations. So I hope you're prepared to be an active participant. And one aspect is to make sure that others can see and hear you clearly. I'm sure most of you have been using Zoom regularly over the past year, but it would still be great to stop and think whether you can improve the clarity of your face and your voice, which is something you do not for yourself, but to help others. So first, make sure that there's a light in front of you, maybe facing a window, and then some kind of a microphone close to your mouth. It'll make better sound and minimize the effect of sounds like kids and dogs that we know most of you share your house with. I use the stand microphone. It looks like this. Oh, here, hard to show. But you could also use a headset. It's not a luxury to have a good headset. It's really a gift to the other participants. So you might think about the money and time you're saving by not driving to a workshop and invest a little. And I also want to remind you that you have a personalized Zoom link, and it should have been emailed to you after you registered. And it really helps us if you use that, especially use the email that you sent, because we'll be going into breakout groups. And so it's important to do it that way. Hopefully you've gone to our online platform, which is at campus.extension.org, or we usually provide the direct link to this page. Unfortunately, it doesn't save the login. It doesn't have cookies, but you can save your own login and password information. Here's what you should have once you're logged in. First of all, you have the welcome, and this has the same thing that's in the printed book, but it's got the syllabus, the contact list, and we'll be updating that in case anything changes, and then the biographies and the team leader biographies. The next thing is the discussions, and it looks like people have already done a great job with this. You have to click through a couple times to get into the right discussion. It's 15 replies so far, so that's great. It looks like people are sharing some really interesting thoughts on successful watershed management. So hopefully you're taking some time to look and add your thoughts, because that's certainly valuable as we think about our participation in the Academy. It's good to get to know your fellow people. The learning modules, we will explain and get started. You don't need to start with that yet. The email from Sarah Peel on, I think, December 8th gave some components and some ways to start that. But what you especially will want to look at is the virtual workshop materials. So we will have all the materials for Wednesday posted by next Monday, and you'll be able to download all the workshop materials in advance. I also want to point out that many of the modules use the Indiana Watershed Planning Guide, which is linked here. And so you'll want to open that up and you'll use it a number of times. This is not a new manual, but it still provides really useful information. And we encourage you to get to know it. And that's information provided by the Department of Environmental Management, but used throughout the state. Okay, that's the logistics. I want to close by talking a little bit about watershed leadership, the topic that we're excited to study together. I'm sure you know that watershed leadership is challenging, in part because it involves many things: science, technical skills, and also leadership skills. And to be effective, you need to work with all sorts of partners, energize your volunteers, understand the water quality processes, and communicate with people who may or may not agree with what you're trying to accomplish. I think you'll find that the Academy can help sharpen your skills and increase your capacity for watershed leadership, no matter what level you're starting at. If you're nervous because you're a beginner at this, you'll find friendly, helpful people who want you to succeed. And if you already have significant experience and expertise, we'll work to challenge you and grow your skills and knowledge. So I'll end by congratulating you for deciding to take time in what I'm sure is your very busy schedule to learn something new. And as we all know, learning takes time and commitment, and you'll need to make time for this experience in order to get the most out of it. But I can tell you that participants always say it was worth it, worth the time, worth the energy, and worth the commitment you need to make to become a more effective watershed leader. So I look forward to getting started with you on Wednesday.